Chelsea?
Chelsea?
Chelsea.
Chelsea, can you tell us more, please?
They did announce that in a public forum last week, but there was a lot of mixed emotion from residents about that downtown renovation. It's a public-private investment, so that area, that property will be owned by the public but leased out by a private corporation. Now there is still traffic going on this way, westbound, eastbound, completely stopped. You can look this way, you're going to see a lot of those semi-trucks that you see early on in the morning completely stopped because of this accident. Take a look at some of this accumulation here just on this tree. You can see how it's just piled on top of here. Now here's what you need to know about the snow, especially if you are going to be driving today. It's very sticky, it's very wet. They have about 10,000 people that'll make their way here. So much going on and over 200 volunteers. We'll be talking more about the behind-the-scenes look later on Daybreak. TxDOT has about 150 pieces of snow removal equipment completely ready for severe winter weather. Voting centers and polling places like here at Region 16 will be opening at 7 a.m. and will not close until 7 p.m. Now, if you need a reminder of what's on the ballot, of course, on a national level, they're talking about whether or not Republicans are going to be taking over the Senate after these midterm elections. We've also talked to our chief meteorologist, Steve Kirsch. He says that snow on the ground, not that wet snow that we're used to. It's going to be a little drier and easily packed together, so it can still be slick. So definitely be careful. Like we said before, make a little extra time as you head out the door this morning. You got about 12 first responders on the scene here in Northwest Amarillo on 500 Southeast 58th Street, where a structure fire call came in at 3:36 this morning. Hey, good morning, Leanne and Anthony. So it's the day before Thanksgiving. Everyone's gearing up, making sure they have everything on their list. Checking out things like cream of mushroom. Need that. Favorite thing for green bean casserole. Clearly, traffic is backed up behind me because of this TxDOT project. Not only does this ranching rodeo feature ranch teams from all over the country, but it's also for the ranching community as well. Right now, they only have about 16 of these turkeys here in the freezer at the High Plains Food Bank, which is not nearly enough for the thousands of people who won't have that turkey on the table for Thanksgiving dinner. Well, on that note, we're going to head out and start exploring these 80 acres. Check out our 5 o'clock newscast for more information on what's going on here at Maxwell's Pumpkin Farm. Happening now, representatives from the Canyon Independent School District and the parents of the young student Dylan Wade will begin day 3 of their hearings. Yesterday, several key witnesses spoke at the CISD Administration Building in the Special Education Due Process hearing for Arden Road Elementary. Now to an incredible story of survival and determination. We're hearing the first-hand account of former Miami Dolphins player Rob Conrad's 16-hour swim back to shore. And now to some national news, $1.1 trillion. That's what it will take to run the U.S. government through September 30th of 2015. Turning now to world news, millions of people across France and across the West stand in unity after the terror attacks in Paris. Meanwhile, Andrew Spencer reports investigators are looking at the links between the attacks. Fire officials are telling us that fire investigators cannot get inside that building because it's still unsafe to enter. And so they're having to take pictures around the perimeter, walk around that perimeter, and even use an aerial apparatus to get a better idea of what happened. However, it will be a while before we get an answer.
It's like Inferno. It was bad, bad, bad.
That is how Tino Martinez, the inventory manager of the neighboring Toyota dealership, describes the fire that broke out Monday evening around 6 p.m. that engulfed Building 4 of the Town Square Village development.
We can see the fire come out from inside the building, and then I guess it was a truck under the building, construction guys working there, and we can see everything fighting start, the explosions.
Building 4, which was the first they had begun construction on and the furthest along, was completely in flames by the time firefighters arrived on scene.
Anytime you have a building that's under construction, the building's going to tend to burn quicker and faster, and it makes it a lot harder to control.
Overall, around 50 fire personnel were on scene to control the fire, as well as monitor sparks and embers to keep it from spreading.
It was pretty much a total loss upon arrival. So our main concern was to protect the surrounding buildings and exposures to make sure that, that nothing happened to any other property in the area.
The Williams Group says there is no way of knowing the total cost of damage, since those numbers will include demolition and cleanup, as well as starting over on construction. However, they are grateful the fire remained contained to just one building.
All the time and effort that we've been out here, just blood, sweat, and tears, and hoping we could save at least something, and luckily it just stayed to one building.
Everyone that was at work yesterday is back at work today, starting this morning at 6 a.m.
For total completion, it pushes it back. The second building that was right behind it that they're framing on now, hopefully we can get enough manpower on it to get it caught up.
Though they admit this is a blow to progress, they are just glad no one was injured. Williams Group says they are moving forward with pre-leasing and that they had tenants in both buildings, and they will be meeting with those tenants and having to shuffle them around to try to get them back in those buildings, and they will be trying to move forward with another game plan. This is Chelsea Goss reporting live from Hillside and Soncy for Pro News 7. Back to you in the studio. Just because kids have made it safely home from school does not mean they have shut out any potential for danger. Latchkey kids or those kids that come home from school before their parents make it home from work still need to have safety plans when spending time home alone.
The child needs to know who they can and cannot open the door for, who they can and cannot answer the phone for. You should teach your child how to call 911, how to get to a safe place while they're on the phone with the 911 dispatcher, and to not hang up until help arrives.
APD stresses sitting down with the child and talking to them about safe adults and what to do in an emergency.
Having them demonstrate to you that they know their name, they know their address, they know how to call 911, they know a safety plan. Just sitting down with your child and communicating your family's safety rules is one of the best things parents can do. APD has several suggestions for how to open up that line of communication between a parent and a child if that child is going to be staying home alone and they need to talk about different safety procedures. However, because of new technology and innovations in security systems, some parents may be able to have a little extra peace of mind. New technology like this piece of equipment from security company Vivint helps parents to have an extra set of eyes. The company offers various devices, some to monitor window or door activity, others for monitoring the temperature of the room. A camera can even send images of rooms to a parent's computer or handheld device.
They're able to get a video clip of their child walking in the front door. That way they can monitor who's coming inside the home with the children, whether it be friends or perhaps a stranger, and maybe preventing a life-threatening situation.
The company says the new devices have been extremely successful as parents take advantage of that extra piece of security. Chelsea Goss, Pro News 7. This is 6-year-old Kaylin hanging out with friends and making cupcakes at camp. Except what you can't tell from this bright-eyed boy running around the room is that he was diagnosed with medulloblastoma, a cancerous brain tumor, several months ago. You're going to get better, right?
Yes.
What's been your favorite thing at camp?
Not seeing doctors.
Camp Alvey, held in Cedar Canyon, is a week-long camp for kids battling cancer and their siblings. There, the kids can participate in summer activities and forget about the illness they're fighting.
Kids probably have a better outlook, especially the mental outlook and the mental aspect of battling this thing, because to them, it's a new day, and they really don't want to worry about the hardships and look at the way that we as adults probably would look at it.
Trademark characteristics of young Kaylin, his Superman shirt and his big hugs he'll give even to strangers.
I just like hugging people.
But not all the campers currently have cancer. Campers like Braden here have already beaten cancer, but he's here to provide encouragement to some of the other campers who may still be struggling with the illness.
I tell them that just don't be sad, just fight through it, just hold tight and believe.
Maybe it's the sheer determination that these kids put into just making cupcakes that suggests they'll fight to beat any illness. Director Michael Qualls says every year he learns more from the kids than he could ever teach them.
You know, I've always been taught in church to have a faith like a child. This is a true example of what that means.
Well, thanks for joining us today on the Midday. Be sure to come back here at 5, 6, and 10 for more of your local news.
Don't forget to join us back here tomorrow, actually Monday morning, for Daybreak. We start at 4:30. If you're not up that early, we'll see you when you get up. Have a great day and a great weekend.